What if the ordinary things around us held something extraordinary? Something dark? A curse? From the intricate, ancient gears of the Prague astronomical clock, a marvel said to bring ruin upon its creators and the city itself, to a melody so haunting it was dubbed the Hungarian suicide song, blamed for a wave of chilling deaths. The sleek, tragic Porsche of a Hollywood icon, a little bastard that seemingly left a trail of destruction even after its owner's demise. A seemingly innocuous phone number, a sequence of 8s linked to a string of violent ends, an 80s arcade game with a fatal high score where players allegedly dropped dead at the controls, and even the viral whispers of cursed chain emails spreading digital dread and misfortune through our inboxes. These objects, these concepts, are all tied to chilling legends of misfortune, madness, and death. They are stories woven into history, whispers of a terrifying power lurking just beneath the surface. These are those stories. This is the story of a car. Not just any car, but a 1955 Porsche 550 Spyder. A sleek, silver machine built for speed, for power, for victory. But this particular car, nicknamed Little Bastard, would become associated not with triumph, but with tragedy, with a curse that claimed the life of a Hollywood icon and, some say, continued to wreak havoc long after the wreckage was cleared. This is the chilling tale of James Dean's cursed Porsche. James Dean, the rebel, the icon, the star who burned bright and fast, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate and inspire. He made only 3 major films: East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, and Giant. But in those few performances, he captured the spirit of a generation, the angst, the restlessness, the yearning for something more. And he loved speed. Dean was a passionate car enthusiast, a racer who found freedom and exhilaration behind the wheel. In 1955, he acquired his dream machine, a Porsche 550 Spyder, one of only 90 ever made. It was a lightweight, agile, and incredibly fast car, designed for racing. He had it helmed customized, with the number 130 painted on the doors and hood, and the nickname Little Bastard scrawled across the rear. The car was, by all accounts, beautiful, but it also seemed to carry with it a sense of foreboding. Actor Alec Guinness, who met Dean shortly before his death, reportedly had a premonition about the car, warning Dean that if he got into it, he would be dead within a week. On September the 30th, 1955, Dean, accompanied by his mechanic, Rolf Wutherich, set out from Los Angeles, heading to a race in Salinas, California. He was driving the Little Bastard, eager to test its limits, to feel the thrill of speed. They never made it. On a highway near Cholome, California, a Ford Tudor, driven by a college student named Donald Turnipseed, made a left turn directly into Dean's path. The impact was catastrophic. The lightweight Porsche was demolished, twisted into a mangled wreck of metal. Wutherich was thrown from the car, surviving with serious injuries. Dean, however, was trapped inside, suffering fatal injuries. He was pronounced dead at the scene. He was just 24 years old. And that's where the legend of the cursed car truly begins. The wreckage of the Little Bastard, a twisted symbol of shattered dreams and untimely death, was sold to George Barris, a custom car builder who had worked on the vehicle for Dean. And from there, the stories began to circulate. Barris claimed that the car was cursed, that it brought misfortune and death to anyone who came into contact with it. He told stories of the car falling off trailers, crushing a mechanic's legs, and causing fires. He even claimed that thieves attempting to steal parts from the wreckage suffered gruesome injuries. The engine and other parts of the car were sold to other racers. Dr. William F. Eschrich put it in his Lotus 9, and it caused a crash. Another doctor, Troy McHenry, also put parts of the car into his and crashed into a tree and died. The stories multiplied, each one adding another layer to the car's dark reputation. It was said that the wreckage was haunted, that strange noises could be heard coming from it, that it would move on its own. And then, the little bastard disappeared. Barris had loaned the wreckage to the National Safety Council, who used it as a macabre exhibit, touring it around the country to promote safe driving. But in the early 1960s, while being transported from Miami to Los Angeles, the car vanished. It was reportedly sealed in a boxcar, but when the train arrived at its destination, the car was gone. To this day, the whereabouts of the little bastard remain unknown. It's become a holy grail for car enthusiasts and paranormal investigators, a lost relic of a Hollywood legend, and a symbol of a curse that, some say, continues to linger. Is the little bastard truly cursed? Or is it simply a case of bad luck, amplified by the tragic death of a beloved star, and fueled by the human need to find meaning in tragedy, to create stories that explain the unexplainable? Perhaps the curse is simply a reflection of our own mortality, a reminder that even the most beautiful, the most powerful, the most seemingly invincible things can be destroyed in an instant, and that sometimes the legends we create, the stories we tell, are more enduring and more powerful than the objects themselves. There are also rumors that the car claimed one more life. Rolf Wutherich, Dean's mechanic, would later die in a car crash in 1981. This is the story of a video game, not a modern, hyper-realistic online multiplayer game, but a classic arcade cabinet from the 1980s, a game called Berzerk. It was a simple, yet addictive game, where you navigate a maze, shooting robots and avoiding the dreaded Evil Otto. But this particular Berzerk cabinet, located in a suburban Illinois arcade, was said to be more than just a game. It was said to be cursed, responsible for the deaths of at least 2 young men. This is its chilling and strangely compelling story. The 1980s, the golden age of arcade games. Imagine a dimly lit room filled with the cacophony of electronic sounds, the flashing lights of dozens of cabinets, and the excited shouts of teenagers battling aliens, racing cars, and navigating pixelated worlds. It was a social hub, a place of competition, and, for a brief, shining moment, the cutting edge of entertainment technology. And in the corner of one such arcade, Friar Tuck's game room in Calumet City, Illinois, stood a Berzerk cabinet. Berzerk, released in 1980 by Stern Electronics, was a relatively simple game by today's standards. You controlled a stick-figure humanoid, armed with a laser gun, navigating a maze filled with deadly robots. The robots, with their monotone synthesized voices, taunted you. "Intruder alert! Intruder alert! The humanoid must not escape. Get the humanoid!" And if you lingered too long in a maze, the game's most terrifying feature would appear. Evil Otto, a bouncing, indestructible smiley face that relentlessly pursued you, ending your game with a single touch. It was a challenging, addictive game, and the Berzerk cabinet at Friar Tuck's was a popular one. But soon, the arcade and the game would become associated with something far more sinister than pixelated robots and digitized taunts. The first tragedy occurred in 1981. A teenager named Jeff Daly, a skilled Berzerk player, reportedly achieved a high score on the machine, entered his initials, and then collapsed. He died of a sudden heart attack right there in the arcade, surrounded by the flashing lights and electronic sounds of the game he'd just been playing. A year later, in 1982, it happened again. Another young man, Peter Burkowski, also a skilled Berzerk player, reportedly achieved a high score, entered his initials, and then collapsed. He too died of a sudden heart attack, just moments after playing the game. Two young men, both seemingly healthy, both dying of heart attacks immediately after playing the same Berzerk cabinet. Coincidence? Perhaps. But the stories began to circulate. The Berzerk cabinet at Friar Tuck's, it was said, was cursed. It was a killer, a machine that somehow, inexplicably, claimed the lives of its players. Now, there's a lot of debate about the specifics of these stories. The story of Jeff Daly, in particular, is often dismissed as an urban legend, with no concrete evidence to support it. But the death of Peter Burkowski is well documented, and the timing, so soon after playing Berzerk, is undeniably unsettling. An autopsy revealed that Burkowski had scarring on his heart, a pre-existing condition that likely made him vulnerable to a sudden cardiac event. The intense excitement of the game, the adrenaline rush, may have been enough to trigger a fatal arrhythmia. But the legend of the cursed Berzerk cabinet persisted. Fueled by the eerie coincidence of the two deaths, the game's own ominous atmosphere, and the inherent human tendency to find patterns, to seek explanations for the unexplainable, even if those explanations veer into the realm of the supernatural. There is even another, less substantial death linked to the game. Another teenager supposedly got into a fight about the game, resulting in a stabbing and death. Friar Tuck's game room eventually closed down, a victim of the changing times, the rise of home consoles, and the decline of the arcade era. The fate of the Berzerk cabinet is unknown. It may have been sold, scrapped, or perhaps it sits in storage somewhere, gathering dust, its deadly legend fading with time. Or maybe it's still out there. The story of the Berzerk cabinet is a reminder of the power of urban legends, the way fear can take root and grow, and the way that even the most mundane objects, even a simple video game, can become imbued with a sense of darkness, of mystery, and of a curse that, whether real or imagined, continues to fascinate and terrify. This is the story of a curse that spreads, not through a physical object, but through the digital ether. It's a curse that arrives in your inbox, disguised as a harmless message, a plea for help, or a warning. But beneath the surface, there lies a threat, a promise of misfortune, and a chilling reminder that even in the age of the internet, ancient superstitions can still find a way to haunt us. This is the story of cursed chain emails. We've all received them. Chain emails. Those are annoying, often rambling messages that implore you to forward them to a certain number of people, promising good luck, financial rewards, or, more ominously, threatening dire consequences if you break the chain. Most of the time, they're harmless, a minor annoyance, a digital equivalent of junk mail. But sometimes they tap into something deeper, something darker, playing on our fears, our superstitions, and our innate desire to avoid misfortune. Before chain emails, there were chain letters. These letters were written with the intention of being sent to numerous people. But chain emails took the concept to a whole new level of virality. And sometimes chain emails take a sinister turn, becoming vessels of curses, digital threats that promise death, disaster, or supernatural retribution if you fail to comply with their demands. These cursed chain emails often prey on our deepest fears, invoking ghosts, demons, or other malevolent entities. They tell stories of tragic deaths, of vengeful spirits, of curses that can only be broken by forwarding the message, by spreading the fear, by perpetuating the cycle. One popular example features a girl named Clarissa. It was said she was murdered and would come haunt whoever did not forward the email. Another tells of a young girl who was pushed down a sewer. Another features a character named Bloody Mary. And yet another uses the likeness of Mickey Mouse. The threats are often graphic, explicit, designed to shock and terrify. They promise that you'll be haunted, that you'll suffer unimaginable horrors, that you'll die a gruesome death. All if you fail to forward the email to a specific number of people within a certain time frame. They're the digital equivalent of a voodoo doll, a way to inflict harm, or at least the fear of harm, from a distance, using the power of words and the viral nature of the internet. Of course, there's no evidence that these cursed chain emails actually work. They're hoaxes, pranks, designed to scare and annoy. But their persistence, their ability to tap into our primal fears, is a testament to the enduring power of superstition, and the way that even in the age of technology, we remain susceptible to the whispers of the unknown. And the format is ever evolving. Chain letters became chain emails and are now common on social media. So, the next time you receive a chain email promising good luck or threatening dire consequences, remember the stories of the cursed messages. Remember the power of fear, the way it can spread, and the way that even the most seemingly harmless digital object can become a vessel for something darker, something more unsettling. Something that reminds us that even in the 21st century, the whispers of ancient curses can still find a way to reach us, to haunt us, and to make us question the boundaries between the real and the imagined. This is the story of a phone number. Not just any phone number, but a specific sequence of digits that, according to legend, is cursed, bringing death and misfortune to everyone who owned it. It's a story of the digital age, a chilling reminder that even in our hyper-connected world, there are still mysteries, still things that defy explanation, and still curses that can spread through the very technology we rely on. This is the tale of the cursed phone number, 0888 888 888. In a world dominated by technology, our phone numbers have become extensions of ourselves, digital identifiers that connect us to the world. We use them for everything, for work, for family, for social media, for ordering pizza. But what if your phone number could also be a conduit for something darker, something cursed? The story of 0888 888 888 begins in Bulgaria. It was a mobile phone number issued by the company Mobitel, now A1 Bulgaria. And on the surface, there's nothing particularly remarkable about it. It's just a string of digits. But it's the repetition of those digits, the sequence of eights, that, in some cultures, is considered lucky. But for the owners of this particular number, luck was the last thing they experienced. The first owner was Vladimir Grashnov, the former CEO of Mobitel. He died of cancer in 2001, at the relatively young age of 48. A tragic event, certainly, but not necessarily unusual. Then the number was reassigned to Konstantin Dimitrov, a Bulgarian mafia boss. In 2003, Dimitrov was gunned down in the Netherlands while reportedly inspecting his drug smuggling empire. He had the phone with him when he died. The number then passed to Konstantin Dishlev, a real estate agent with, shall we say, connections to organized crime. In 2005, Dishlev was shot dead outside an Indian restaurant in Sofia, Bulgaria. It turned out he was also running a massive cocaine trafficking operation. 3 owners, 3 deaths. All sudden, all violent, all connected to the same phone number, 0888 888 888. The story, understandably, began to circulate. The phone number, it was said, was cursed. Anyone who possessed it was doomed to meet a tragic end. The Bulgarian media dubbed it the cursed mobile number. Mobitel, faced with a growing public relations nightmare, reportedly suspended the number. They wouldn't comment on the rumors, the deaths, or the supposed curse, stating only that they don't discuss individual phone numbers. And there, the story might have ended. A curious coincidence, a string of tragedies linked by a simple sequence of digits. But the internet, as it always does, kept the legend alive. Today, if you try to call 0888 888 888, you'll get a recorded message stating that the number is outside network coverage. It's become a digital ghost story, a modern-day urban legend fueled by the power of the internet and the human fascination with the unexplained. Is the number truly cursed? Or is it simply a case of coincidence, of 3 men involved in dangerous activities meeting predictable ends? It's impossible to say for sure, but the story of this phone number serves as a chilling reminder of the way technology can become intertwined with our fears, our superstitions, and our enduring fascination with the dark side of the digital world. It's a reminder that even in the age of smartphones and instant communication, there are still things we cannot explain, still mysteries that defy logic, and still curses that can spread through the very networks that connect us all. And the legend isn't confined to this phone number. There are several others thought to also be cursed. In fact, repeating numbers, and even numbers with patterns, are thought to be bad luck. This is the Prague Horloge, also known as the Prague Astronomical Clock. It's a masterpiece of medieval engineering, a complex and beautiful mechanism that has been tracking time, the stars, and the zodiac for over 600 years. But this isn't just a clock. It's also said to be cursed, linked to tales of madness, death, and misfortune, a chilling legend woven into the very fabric of Prague's history. This is its story. Prague's Old Town Square, a bustling hub of activity filled with tourists, street performers, and the aroma of Trdelnik pastries. And dominating the square, on the side of the Old Town Hall, is the Horloge. It's a breathtaking sight, a riot of color, intricate carvings, and moving figures. It's more than just a pretty face, though. This is a working astronomical clock built in 1410. It displays multiple types of time: Old Bohemian time, Babylonian time, Central European time, and even sidereal time, which measures the rotation of the Earth relative to the stars. It tracks the position of the sun, the moon, the constellations of the zodiac. It's a marvel of medieval engineering, a testament to human ingenuity and a fascination with the cosmos. And every hour, on the hour, it comes alive. Wooden figures, representing the 12 apostles, parade past the windows above the clock face. Other figures, representing vice and virtue, nod their heads. And then there's the skeleton, a figure of death. that rings a bell and inverts an hourglass. A stark reminder of the passage of time and the inevitability of mortality. But beneath the beauty, beneath the intricate mechanics, there lies a darker story, a legend of a curse. The most common version of the curse story centers around a clockmaker named Master Hanush, who, according to legend, was commissioned to build the orloy. The city councillors, so impressed by his creation, were terrified that he might build an even grander clock for another city. So, in a brutal act of preventative measures, they had him blinded, ensuring that he could never replicate his masterpiece. In revenge, the blinded Hanush, with the help of an apprentice, sabotaged the clock, cursing it and, by extension, the city of Prague. The legend states that anyone who tries to repair the clock, or even tamper with it, will go mad or die. Now, the story of Master Hanush is largely a myth. Historical records show that the clock was actually created by Mikuláš of Kadaň and Jan Schindel. Hanush did work on the clock, but almost a century later. But the legend, the curse, persisted, woven into the fabric of the orloge's history. And over the centuries, there have been incidents, strange occurrences that have fueled the belief in the curse. The clock has stopped working many times, sometimes due to mechanical failures, sometimes due to neglect, and sometimes due to more dramatic events. And each time, it seemed, misfortune followed. There are also other beliefs. It's said that the first chime of the clock each day will chase away any evil spirits, and also that if a boy is born on New Year's Eve and runs to the clock before the skeleton stops nodding, it will undo the curse. The most significant event linked to the curse occurred during World War II. Prague was occupied by the Nazis, and during the Prague Uprising in 1945, the Old Town Hall and the Orloge were severely damaged by a firebomb. Some believe that the clock's temporary malfunction during this time led to the Nazi occupation. The clock was eventually repaired, painstakingly restored to its former glory, and today it continues to tick, to chime, to draw crowds of awestruck tourists. But the legend of the curse remains, a chilling undercurrent to the clock's beauty and complexity. Is the Prague Orloge truly cursed? Or is it simply a victim of circumstance, a historical artifact caught in the crosscurrents of war, neglect, and the human tendency to weave stories, to find patterns where there may be only coincidence? Perhaps the answer doesn't matter. The legend of the cursed clock, like the intricate mechanism itself, has become a part of Prague's identity, a reminder of the city's rich and often turbulent history, and a testament to the enduring power of stories to shape our perception of the world around us. And it's a reminder that even the most beautiful, the most intricate creations can carry with them a shadow, a hint of darkness, and a whisper of a curse that can chill the blood and fuel the imagination for centuries to come.